Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dance Chat. Today we have Eskillz with us. Say
What up?
hi.
What up? What up?
Can you do a quick self intro?
hmm So yeah, my name's Elijah, aka Eskillz, Jersey Club native, born and raised in New Jersey. Traveled the world, dancing, 13 years into it, all styles, house, Jersey Club, hip hop, contemporary, you name it. Um, but yeah, that's a pretty much a bit of background on myself. I do cinematography, directing, creative direction as a performance artist and just dance. And yeah, just happy to be here.
Yay. Um, 13 years. So when did you first start dancing and what style did you first tap into dance?
Well, let me check my math actually. Let me check my math because like I love saying like 13, 14 years, but like what I started at 12 years old, so 13, 14,
You're actually counting with your finger. That's crazy.
wow, like wait, hold on. That's like 60 because I'm 28 now, so that's like what, it's 14, 15 years now.
So you started at 12
I started at 12, yeah, 12 years old.
and now you're 28.
8, right.
So that's 16 years.
Yeah, 16 years. Wow. So I'm getting old, guys. Yeah. Yeah. So 16. I think I like to use 13 because it makes me feel younger. But yeah, 16 years.
So when did you like at 12? What happened? How did you first get into dance?
So I got into martial arts. I got into karate. And martial arts was like, you can move your body. And I was just like, wow, I can move my body. And there's an art to that. So I wasn't the kid that like started dancing, even though my family does dance. I did painting and fine arts, drawing. Always did like illustrations. Always wanted to make my own comic book. That was like my childhood dream. Like always wanted to do like manga and like comic books. So I always like grew up just drawing and stuff like that. And then like my dad got me into like karate because self defense, defend yourself. Because I was just never was the sports kid. That was my brother.
Oh, really?
So he just got me into like martial arts, and then from there I just kind of was like, well, I can move my body now, and now I'm not afraid of like showing people that I can move my body. And I guess the dance gene just kicked in because like my family already dances, and then I was just like, well, let me start dancing in secret because I don't want my family to know that I'm actually like dancing. So then I just like watched some dubstep animation popping videos and was like, well, this is it. And that was it. This is history.
So you learned by yourself, kind of, even though you're from a dance family?
Yeah, like learn by myself. At least you could say like in like the popping aspect because the first style was like popping.
Oh, really?
And like animation. So like I watched like a bunch of YouTube videos because that was like something I just did for like fun, catching beats. A lot of my early like high school friends like knew about that stuff, and then I like over time I just kind of just started to get to be like known as like the dance kid. Like I went to like an arts high school for drawing and like fine arts. But like people on the side would like catch me at like lunchtime and like they'd be like, yo, Skills know how to like dance, like he knows how to break it down. And like I did that and I like put that into like Jersey Club pretty much. And then like from there people just knew me as like the kid that dances. And then my family found out after that.
Oh, found out after that. Well,
Yeah.
a little bit on your can you like give a background information on your families? Like what styles do they do, and like when you say they're a dance family, like what?
So like on my father's side, that's definitely the dancers. They're of they're Antiguan, so they're of Caribbean descent. My father is like four brothers, so it's like the oldest was our late Uncle Greg. He passed. As the oldest is our Uncle Warren. That's the oldest brother. Third oldest is my father, and the youngest is Terry Carr. That's Sibo. Um, and Sibo is the one that like took the dance house thing to like the next level. He actually started off as a breaker. It's a funny thing. Yeah, he actually started off as a breaker before he did house. Which is like a running joke for like insiders, for like breakers become house dancers when they get older. That's like a running joke. Like I've heard that before. But yeah, that was pretty much what it was. My father and the older brothers, obviously, like they went to the club and they snuck him in to like dance because everybody went to dance. And it's like mainly house, but I will always say like clubbing, house, hip hop, it's all in the same
Yeah.
like generation when it comes to that. But yeah, just dance in general. My mom's side of the family, that's like jazz. That's house as well. But it's like jazz. Um, what do you call that? It's not waltzing. It's like the black version. Uh, like
Swing
skating.
dance?
Like swing. You can say like swing. Dang, the name escapes me. But it is like of a social dance. But you can say like house disco, um, roll bounce. That's like roller skating. That's like my mom's side, pretty much. Both sides. They both sides just dance. So
So are they both like professional dancers, like doing this for a living, or they're kind of just into it and then have like a normal, like a
there's just always just like house heads, disco heads. My
uh-huh,
Uncle Terry, he's SIBO. That's the one that actually
like
took it to
yeah,
the next level and
seriously,
actually was like, I'm going to travel the world and do this, like for real, and actually just carries the torch of like just actually dancing. So I think that's always was just like around
mm-hmm.
to just have that. I mean, growing up, I never really saw him as much because he lived in Japan for about like 15 plus
Oh.
years. But when he came back, that was like around the time where he was just like, "So nephew, you dance?" And I'm like, "I mean, I do." So yeah.
Wait, when did he come back? I didn't even know.
When did he come back? Uncle, if you're hearing this, I don't know when you came back. I think he came back in like he came back like 2011, I think 2012 or something like that. But yeah, he came back like a while ago, relatively like 2015 or something like that, like within that
So
time.
it's like you've already been dancing for like
A
4 or 5 years,
for a
yeah.
bit, yeah, for a bit. It was still like mainly art and drawing at that time. Um, I think after I got out of high school, that's when I was kind of doing like more performance art and
hmm
stuff like that. Um, just being like known to do movement and like already being like curated with like a lot of like different artists outside of just being like dancers. It was easy for me, at least on my own, to just find myself in more artistic performance art and like
hmm
we call that open mic spaces. And then I was just like the only dancer that was like performing. And then that's like how I kind of made a name for myself, especially in like in my hometown, like North. That's like the art space. That's how I kind of made my connections. And yeah, that was that.
I guess in college, did you do any like a dance major, or is it more of a what's your degree?
Oh, I got you. So I never really went to college. I started college, but I didn't really finish. But I definitely was going to go into college for like computer technology.
Ah, okay. Well,
So
that's
that was something completely different. Um, but yeah, like I think I just continued a career of just like performing and building like my dance resume on my own for like
hmm
freestyling. And then I got into teaching, which is like Jersey Club. And that was
So
that.
when did you get into Jersey Club? I guess from you started with popping, right?
hmm So there is a style in Jersey, like Jersey Club, of like is like popping esque or popping adjacent called pop lock in. Slang for just like locking or popping in place. It's a niche approach to like popping and like animation that was only done to Jersey Club music.
Oh.
It's not done as much anymore, but definitely like when I came into dancing as much as I was a kid, Jersey Club is like a cultural dance. Sorry, so it's like pretty much something that everybody just kind of does. And it's as long as I've been alive, like that's just been around, you know. Um, but when I first started dancing, pop locking was the first, like I guess, freestyle approach to like my dance, and I
hmm
just danced to Jersey Club music, but I also knew how to pop lock, if that makes any sense.
hmm
Um, and then over time, I just got closer and closer with like the Jersey Club dance community.
hmm
Um, outside of it just being like we're all from Jersey, we all do these dances. And then yeah, a lot of things just shifted from that point on. Yeah, that's about that.
Well, I guess because a lot of the listeners might not know much about Jersey
Of course.
Club, the music or the style. So can you
hmm
like give a bit of an intro?
So Jersey Club music is a genre under the umbrella of house,
Mm-hmm.
and more specifically, an attachment to Baltimore club music. Um, Baltimore club music as our Big Brother style and sound. The first kick of that boom, 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 kind of like electronic dance music.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been around since the early 90s, at least as far as like the house culture that existed in Jersey, and then became more, you could say, influenced by the Baltimore club gig, which is what I just mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of DJs from like Jersey came down and pioneered their own sound out of the Baltimore club kick, and then came back up to Jersey and made Jersey club music. Since they're not from Baltimore club music, since they're not from Baltimore and they're from Jersey, it became Jersey club music. Before it was called Jersey club music, it was called Brick City music.
Oh.
And Brick City is a nickname for North New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So the only time you would get, I guess, a Jersey club like demo or something made by an artist from Jersey, they live in North New Jersey. So those things, that was back in the times when you burn CDs and you would get like bootleg on like bootleg tracks mixed with like house tracks mixed with like, Baltimore club tracks. And then people would just kind of like rotate CDs and things from that time period on. And like as like Facebook grew and as like social media grew, just like 2008, 2009,
Mm-hmm.
um just more of like a, I guess you could say, like an ethos of like music was kind of like spread amongst Jersey, and then like the rest of the state just started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Producers just started making the sound as well, and then the whole state just kind of did that sound. um but yeah, Brick City music to Jersey club music, um it's I don't want to say fast, but
It
it
is
is
fast. That's the word.
it is an aesthetic of like faster, you could say faster, electronic dance music.
Mm-hmm.
um and there's a culture that's attached to it that's like rich in its history and has a lot of ties to house. So yeah.
I guess when did the style first like so the music pre-exists the dance, I
Hmm.
assume? So like how do people find out how to dance to a music that fast?
So it was like a lot of underground parties. I would say there were different eras, different dancers, and this is all like he said, she said stuff.
Uh-huh.
So when I say dates, this is like relatively the most general, or I guess like popular opinion
Mm-hmm.
amongst all everybody else's like experience of saying this was the year or time that this I really started to see X, Y, and Z pop off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd say like 2007 was kind of like the year where you start seeing a lot of like social dances that kind of made sense to Jersey club dance. Um, there wasn't much of like freestyling because it's like a party style,
Mm-hmm.
but our base of like how to dance to Jersey club music was very like much call and response. Think Cupid Shuffle, Cha Cha Slide type of deal, where like the DJ would like dub their voice over a Jersey club track, and then it was like two steps to the left, and everybody goes two steps to the left, two steps to the right, and everybody goes two steps to the right, and then like I'll call out this name of the dance, and then you do that dance, and then
Oh.
from there everybody like parties from that. Now that's not to say that every single track was like that, but like definitely the most popular ones, and like how you learn to dance to Jersey club music will be through those anthems. Um, Popular dances like the Wu Tang. I know there was a Percolator was already out. What do you call that? D-Macking. Bunny Hop came later. Patty Cake came later. Like there's a lot of like cultural moves that kind of like pioneered people to be like, when you do Jersey Club, you're supposed to do those moves.
Oh.
Um, and then just over time, more parties, more events, more places, more people just keep doing inventing more dances and anthems until you
Mm-hmm.
just get this whole like plethora and like spread of like all these dances you can pick from, and then people just started freestyling off of those things. Yeah.
I guess like when you say it's not a freestyle style but more so a club style, what's the difference between that? Because like I guess for house hip hop
Mm.
or the other styles, like which category do they belong to, and like
Yeah.
what's the difference?
So, and I'm pretty sure like OGs can probably answer this question way better than me, but my understanding of clubbing, a club style and or a freestyle like dance style, is that in that specific culture's dance and freestyle, they have their own like structure and like approach to like doing the dance. And when you go out, I guess in that generation, when you go out clubbing, that's like you just going to the club and just like having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's more about your background of dance being your main expression to when you're partying.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we do two different styles, but we go to the club together. Um, how you just have fun and how you just express yourself. Like there might be social dances that everybody in the club knows to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then you mix in your own little, you know, whatever your background of dance is within those dances.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you're going out clubbing, you're just having fun. Um, Jersey club, since it's a Jersey club style, or I say like it's a club style, is because it's just that like Jersey has a big history with just expression.
Mm-hmm.
And those dances are just how you conduct yourself in the club, especially with the anthems that coincide with those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, whatever background of dance, if you are actual dancer, um, you would do those dances and then you will freestyle a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're like doing it to have fun. You're not doing it to like curate a space of like, we're all dancers. It's like Jersey Club was for like everybody. It still
Mm-hmm.
is for everybody. Um, but it did shift into more Jersey freestyle. That's the actual style of like the actual freestyle aspect of like Jersey club dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Before we even got to that point, it was just clubbing.
Mm.
It was just clubbing, but there's Jersey club music being played, if that makes any sense.
I see.
Just
Yeah.
like how back then there was clubbing, but house music was being played
Mm-hmm.
mainly,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Yeah.
I see. Well, but you say that you have like you dance so many different styles, right? So you get closer and closer to Jersey Club. Like, um, how come that you also are interested in contemporary and like I feel like most street dancers don't really do those. Like, I feel like contemporary ballet, modern, or lyrical, they kind of are in the same branch of trees, and then I feel like street style exists in a separate world a
Yeah.
little bit.
How did I even get into that? I think because actually, I haven't really given it that much thought. I did do contemporary dance for about like 2 years, like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dance program called Axel in New Jersey. And there was like a competition that I won, and I got the opportunity to work in the summertime with like a lot of contemporary dances, theater.
Mm-hmm.
I got to work with tap dance legend Savion Glover, who does tap dance, and I just know many contemporary ballet dancers as well. And I've just trained and studied and asked how to like go about that and do that, and just that was like just kind of like a weird like I don't want to say weird, but that was kind of like a side quest for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a fan of Alvin Ailey Dance Academy. As a kid, I always looked at ballet and jazz dance, street jazz, and all different types of stuff. Broadway was like a big thing for me because my mom, she like was big in like dance. She's actually was a singer and comedian.
Wow.
When she was back in her younger days, and she just showed me a lot of things like the Nicholas Brothers, um, Fred Astaire, different dances like that. That was outside of street dance. It was more like jazz and like ballet and like tap. When I was like 7 years old, I was like we for like only like a bit, but like
Mm-hmm.
we did like tap dance. Me and my sister did like tap dancing for like a year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like also a start of me like dancing, I guess. And I guess that just never left me. So yeah, that's that. And like I think while I was aware of like street dance because of my father's side, I think I
Mm-hmm.
always like dived into jazz and contemporary from my like mom's side, and I kind of just bring that together with Jersey Club,
Wow.
and that just makes sense to me. So
Because you've done so many different styles, like I guess what are the commonalities in all these styles and
like how they all like coincide, like how they all
yeah,
like
or like how do they all
are
make sense
united.
on to you or on your physical structure? Because I feel like at least in today's world, dance world is kind of segregated where people like do their styles and
Mm,
ballet people just do ballet and
mm.
and choreo people only do choreo, and like yeah,
Yeah.
but since you've been around different types of dance and
Yeah.
movements, like what's your viewpoint on like different styles and how to gain a more generic understanding of like
Hmm.
all the styles instead of just diving deep into one, I
Hmm.
guess.
Very layered question. I like it though. I guess where do I start? I guess we could start with like my love of movement.
Mm-hmm.
Movement art isn't just particularly like structured to dance. Um, a lot of like a lot of what I see art to be done is through performance art because
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a lot of art performances. Um, and just that in and of itself is like movement too. Um, when I was like studying, when I was like studying like contemporary, um, there's a lot of subjects that pertain not to like foundational dance moves, like how street dance does, but
Mm-hmm.
it pertains to more things like precisions, lines, shapes.
Yeah.
That's an actual like studied art form that if you was to draw that on paper, that's like an actual like technique
Yes,
that you can
like
actually like look
an
into.
anatomy and
Yeah.
like
So balance and weight and posture,
yeah.
placement, and all those different types of things. And I think that like that vocabulary is just a you could sort of say like universal kind of like language
Mm-hmm.
amongst like combining like street styles and you could say like contemporary. Even though I guess like the approach is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, these conversations is kind of what brings the movement together for me. Whether you're a contemporary dancer or whether you're a house dancer, I'm like your foot placement. Let's talk about foot placements.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whether you're a crumper or a ballet dancer, let's talk about weight distribution.
Yeah.
You know, um, how we move and how we think and how mindful we are with our bodies is just that's just a human thing, you
Yeah.
know, rather than it just being like, oh, my dance style makes me a completely different species of human being. Like, you know, at the end of the day, it's like technique. There's more nuance to talking about technique than it is just talking about like foundation of like just your style. Like
Mm.
technique isn't um just based off those moves, like I said, but it can also just be something about just noticing like just the little things that your body does
Mm.
or how important it is to put a certain structure together. Now, for me, since I love, because I would say like movement art is like my main medium
Mm-hmm.
that I like to do. Because I do direct, I do cinematography. So a lot of like my two mediums is cinematography and movement art, in the form of performance art. So yeah, the subject could be dance or certain dance styles, but I see a lot of dance as just movement art,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Or if you say you're a dancer, you're just a lover of it. You're a lover of movement art. Um, Maybe other people don't see it that way, but that's kind of like how I see it. And
Mm.
that's kind of like what allows me to just connect everything. Like not everything is so separate. Yes, these approaches are different, but they're like really much the same. So that was a long-winded answer, but
Well, you know what?
to a
But
long-winded question.
I just think like you're a very special case in the sense that you like do so many different things, and even
Mm,
the way that you approach dance in general. Like if I look at your social media, right? Like there's
mm.
only wait, how
I mean,
many
it's
posts
like
do you
I
have
think it's like
nowadays? I feel like 3, 4.
on my main page is like 6 now.
Okay, okay, maybe you put
Yeah.
out a little bit more, but like I love all, I feel like every time I watch your posts, I feel like I'm just watching a piece of art, or like it's a I can't just define it as like a dance video because I feel
Mm,
like there's more to it than that, and
mm,
you can see all kinds of dance videos. Like sometimes people just take a clip of a class like demonstration, and that's a dance reel, but
mm.
your content is more than that. I feel
Yeah.
like.
It's actually curated. This is curated. That's also another thing. I think part two to the question you asked before. that I forgot to mention was I also see dance as the way I see, because I started drawing and painting.
Mm.
So the way that I see dance is the same way that I see drawing. And I think
Like
that that's
visual art.
visual
Mm.
art and fine arts, sculpting even, but mainly just painting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just being a good equalizer
Mm-hmm.
between like everybody being like, I do this and I do that with my body, is kind of like, yeah, you're just painting a different way,
Mm-hmm.
you know. How does that look on canvas? So composition is like a huge thing for me, and just cinematography, I guess, helps me kind of blend both worlds. Martial arts got me going like, oh, you can just paint with your body.
Mm.
And wow, look at all these different artists who know how to paint with their bodies, I guess. And then it left the paper, but I kind of like still like drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So directing was just the next thing for me to just be like, all right, well, my blank canvas is the camera, and whatever fits into that camera and how wherever we can paint from that composition of the camera is like how that does things. And I'm like, oh, film, that makes sense. Because that's literally the same thing. And yeah, that's why I guess you could say like a lot of my things are like, yes, you could say like a component of it is dance,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that like dancers who want to be like, I'm showing you that I'm a dancer, like that's how they just want to just express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I just see it just more as like a composition and movement art. That's why. So
Well, but like I've always been curious, like just give one or two example based on the past projects that you've done. Like how does it land? Like how do you transform? Like I don't know, how do you even get that idea, and then how do you even find the right cast and right spot to film it, and how it got to.
That's funny because you're like the fourth person that's picking my brain on this stuff that I dropped. um, yeah, I see it in my brain. It's my
No, I'm
laziness.
just always curious. I feel like for a lot of like people that are really creative, I'm just wondering what's in their brain. Like I want to just.
And it's like I see it in my brain. I draw it because it connects me to the drawing part.
Uh-huh.
So I've always done illustration.
Mm-hmm.
I'll storyboard that. I'll see different references, and then I'll just be like, well, let me just put that in that, and just kind of like mash it up. And I guess there's like also like years of like technically like studying cinematography and studying like self-taught and stuff like that. That kind of like helps me like bring everything together. But for the most part, it's like for one thing here, it's like cooking eggs and
Whoa, that's crazy.
cashews, dates, and stuff like that. And then put that. It ain't gonna taste like this, but
yeah, that one's
you guys were talking about freaking. I'm looking at this protein bar.
It's a protein bar that doesn't taste great, but
yeah, but like yeah, it a good protein bar. Different ingredients, if you will, that like just allows me to just be like, okay, if the composition is this, there's different subjects that I can put into it. Now, are they gonna move around or are they not gonna move around? I kind of just like check off in my mind how that's gonna look. But sometimes I go off of my main like driving themes that I play with is like it helps to have themes that you really relate to. Surrealism is a big one for me. So a driving force for my creativity is just like it's not even the fact that it's dream-like, or not even the fact that it's psychedelic even. It just feels like it's just never, it just feels like it's like you're seeing it happen, but it feels like it just would never happen, if that makes any sense. That's what surrealism kind of feels like for me. Like surrealism just feels like a moment that's happening that only you would experience, that no one else would believe you if you was to tell them about it. And that's the feeling that's like the main like drive that I want people to feel when I see my stuff. That they're just kind of
now that you're describing it, I do see it. Yeah.
Like if you was to explain that to somebody and I saw this, they'll either be interested, but they can't see that in their mind. It's only
Uh-huh.
something that you experienced, and you're just kind of like, well, that just happened. That's kind of like what surrealism is to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a bunch of weird images, or at least the missed point that a lot of people just don't understand surrealism to be. Shout out to my surrealist artists that like kind of push that point. Um, but that was also another two themes that when I was studying art and I was
Mm-hmm.
actually getting into art was Afrofuturism um, and surrealism. And I think that like when it comes to cinematography, surrealism is just always just like what I draw out, and then I'm just like, well, how can I make that like a move? How can I make that move? How can I make those pictures move? And I think that's just the fun part of like the creative process that I have, just moving images in my brain. I guess I don't know. You want to hook up a thing to my head, just
Well,
kind
I'm
of be
like,
like, I
it's just
get it.
fascinating. I feel like you probably you think of yourself more as an artist than a dancer, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, but again, I guess because since this is a podcast about dance, how do you feel like all these other aspects of art kind of informed your dance?
Well, the main like driving force to all of this coming together is my love of dance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still themed around
It's
dance.
still themed around dance, or at least how people can see dance in a more nuanced way,
Mm.
rather than it just being like this is a street style and this is a studio trained style, or whatever the
Mm.
case may be. It's like human art has way more depth, and the easiest way for you to understand how deep that goes for humanity and understanding people's story, regardless of language, culture, is through dance. Um, I say like second to that is food. That's like my next. I feel like my next driving subject in my pieces will be through food.
Oh, interesting.
Um, because food has such a food how we handle food has such it just tells a lot about a person how you handle food. I'm pretty chefs can pull you into that about that because they'll probably say something along the same thing.
Okay.
Um, but dance tells you a lot about a culture.
Mm.
The people that's from it, the people that want to get into it. Street dance says a lot. Contemporary ballet says a lot. Indigenous tribal dances says a lot. Just depending on, it doesn't even matter where you're from. Every human being's either going to eat, dance, and party. Everywhere you go, like everywhere you go, like you're going to do at least one of those three things. And it's kind of like dance is like the easiest way for people to just kind of just understand this universal language. But how that could be placed isn't just through like dance competitions. It can also just be done just by happening. Like people can just dance. And I think that I guess that's a conversation for another time that people just choose not to dance, but yeah.
It can happen at this time too, but what do you mean? Like,
Um, dang. My TED talk about how people don't.
it's okay. You can rant. I know you've been ranting a lot on your Instagram, and you can rant on the podcast too. Because I feel like people.
I rant once.
No, come on. These opinions also needs to be heard. You
Okay.
rant once, but I know that those opinions
Oh
exist
yeah,
for longer than that.
we talked many times.
Yeah.
Um, dance isn't just for dancers.
Mm.
I think movement is just understanding yourself and understanding the space that you're in. If more people see that you don't necessarily have to, I think people's approach towards dance is so much more intimidating only because they're seeing other people, I guess, apply themselves a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
and that application being so popular that they're like, well, if I'm not applying myself that specific way, then I'm not good enough to dance, or I'm not worthy of dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I think the pinnacle of dance is expression.
Mm.
You'll realize that half of, if not all of these styles started off with somebody, especially with street dance.
Mm-hmm.
It all started with somebody feeling the beat so much they just do this movement.
Mm-hmm.
And from that movement, people are like, what is that? And then that person goes, I don't know. Or they'll be like, I call this the
Yeah, then put a name
whatever.
to it, and then they put a name to the steps, or
And you just do that enough times, and then people's like, all right, so what's this
thingy.
of steps?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's hip hop music. And it's hip hop dance. Boom. Boom. But I think that more people realize that that's how dance really started. The human response to sound
Yeah.
and just genuinely not thinking about the rule of what was prior to them. I think a lot more people will be happy with not just dance but themselves.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have a degree. That doesn't have a medal. That doesn't have money.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have any modern social construct attached to it.
Yeah.
It's completely free. Um, and I just think that that's why that's why I love dance so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's free. It's free to do, and it allows people to appreciate art of themselves in a deeper way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's kind of like my short answer to that.
I guess, like, how do you define a dancer? Because for the longest time, I don't think of myself as a dancer because, as you can see, I do software. Um, and I've always had this mindset of, like, a dancer is someone who lives off of dance. Or, like, at least that's the definition for me, for professional dancer means
Right, that's fair.
they do it for money. Not for money, but that's their way of living.
Right.
And that's pretty much all that they do.
Right.
And later on, I realized that, first of all, Mulaney, like, told me, like, you have to claim that you're a dancer. You can't, like, what is it about dance that you're not doing yet that you think a dancer is doing? You're just not using it to pay your rent, but, like, you are training, you are performing, you're in all these spaces that, like, in your mind, a dancer is in, and you're doing dance. So why do you think yourself not as a dancer? And another thing is, I realized that, people who do it as a profession do so much work outside of dance as well. Administrative work, applying for grants, and like, so, like, what is even a dancer? Like, what's under that name?
Oof, what's even under that name? This is a great question. You ever, like, have so many answers, but you're trying to pick one?
You can say whatever you want to say, or you can say 5 answers. It's all good.
Like, dang, you gotta love good questions, because good questions, like, is just a better journey of, like,
thought provoking.
Yeah, just search. You just search for answers. It's just that you're basically saying that medium or that art form is just something that you genuinely are interested in doing. I think a dance. Some of the best. I'm gonna break it out like this. Mm-hmm. Some of the best dancers are non-dancers. Mm. What do I mean by that? I mean, some of the best dancers I've ever talked to are people who don't even dance. They're the people that just love looking at it. Mm. I think to love something without being able to do it is what technically makes you that thing. If I lost both my hands and I couldn't draw anymore, I would still love to look at art, and I'm still a fine artist, painter. Because in my mind and in my soul, I know that I still relate to that, and I still search for truth in that art form. If a dancer, like dancers who have, like we've seen before, dancers who have, like, lost their legs and they're still dancing.
Yeah, I've seen that too. They are on there. What is it? The thing that's supporting, and they're on beat fully, and I'm like amazed to watch.
That's
a
dancer.
Yeah.
And
I feel like people feel inspired to watch them, because sometimes people find a lot of excuses. They're like, I can't dance because of this and this and that. And then you see all these people who lost their hands and they're still dancing, who lost their leg and are still dancing. And
there's some dancers who are professional, who are getting paid to dance, and they're not even good dancers. They're not reaching the full potential of their ability to be able to dance because they don't really know why they love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I've seen that before too. I've seen dancers who are like at high places and you go on their close friends on their stories and they're just like, I don't even know what I'm doing. They just got off tour. They're doing everything what every other dancer would be like, wow, you're getting paid. You're doing this. You sell out classes, this, that, and the third. And they're like depressed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, if they're at the pinnacle of what they're doing, if we're all like agreeing that like, okay, to be a good dancer or to be a professional dancer or to be a successful dancer is that, then why do they not feel fulfilled in what they do? And it's because their relationship to what they say they love is not really there.
Mm.
Again, I think to be a good artist or a good dancer or a good musician, a good singer, a good rapper you're basically just saying, or you should truthfully be saying that you love the art form.
Mm.
Another way to put it is you don't love it on yourself. That's why I was like, sometimes I love dance so much that I don't feel like I'm worthy of calling myself a dancer.
All the time.
Because there's like, I love watching it so much on other people that I don't even consider myself in that conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And other people are inspired off of me, and I'm just like, bro, but have you seen this person? Because I'm just so enamored by looking at movement art. Michael Jackson couldn't even sleep. You know, he talked about how he stayed up like 2 a.m. because music was just, it was just like his life force. Like he just couldn't stop doing it. Everything he stopped. His love and references to everything was just music. He was a true musician, a true artist, because his love for the art of it was just so much more grand than himself. And I think that that's what it means to just be a dancer. It's two things. Well, I guess the qualifications for me, my qualifications of what makes you a true dancer is if you was to stop dancing, you would, or if you didn't have the ability to dance, you would still be dancing. You'll still be dancing in your heart. You'll still be dancing in your mind. But I guess the way I can describe or at least break down my answer to it is like what makes a dancer is a dancer who just loves, who not only just says that they love the art, but they just are working to become it. Like whatever they can, whenever they can. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's that's my take on it. So
I guess, but like you said, currently the industry probably is not really functioning in that way, and like
yeah.
um well it's an open-ended question, but like I think ideally in your ideal world, what type of platform or what type of opportunities do you think dancers should be getting or truly deserve? Because like I feel like the way that you're making your film, dance film production kind of like, is that your vision is to one day kind of, make a film or theater work around dance and have it be on screen the same way that other films are on? Or like, because right now I feel like a professional career track for dancers either, be on Broadway or join a dance theater company or be a backup stage dancer for a singer. Like, I guess in your ideal world, what should be like a perfect habitat for people who genuinely love dance?
As long as we have capitalistic systems, there's no way that money can't be involved in dance.
Yeah.
But I do think that I don't have enough ego to create an ideal world for myself.
No, and that's why we're on a podcast. We're just like, now, if you're in your dream, what's it gonna be look like?
What I would like, or I would appreciate more, is just more organic spaces where things are just free, and the exchange is just stories and not art that is used for professional means or resumes to. I think a lot of people utilize art, and it's just not just in dance.
Yeah.
But a lot of people nowadays, especially because of social media, are using art as a means to build themselves up
Mm-hmm.
rather than expand out.
Mm.
Um, I remember a friend of mine. We was talking about dancers and like their like ability. I never say there's a better dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Always just said there's a more seasoned dancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More maturity.
You know, sometimes we can make the same soup, but because you just have less experience with making that soup, you just don't know
Yeah, like the
your
nuance of
ingredients,
yeah.
how much seasoning you need to put
Yeah.
in it. Versus somebody be like, oh, I've made this soup before.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of like how dance is and
Yeah.
how art is in general. But my friend was basically like, the tiers, like there was like tiers of like dancing and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't see dance in tiers. I see dance in zones
Mm-hmm.
where every dancer has a comfort zone. And especially when they first start dancing, they haven't really explored the zones that has how far they can take it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm only standing still and like the farthest I can like expand my zone is like only as far but my 2 feet,
Yeah.
then that's okay. And what I like about it is the fact that it's like it's okay for that to be your zone, because that just means that you just have yet to just expand out and move around.
Mm-hmm.
But never be afraid to explore, to see how far out you can go. Um, and I think that that's what I'm using that example just to just say like I would like more spaces or people the way that people utilize their dancing to be looked at in that direction. Um, where it's like look how far I'm willing to go with my understanding of sound
Mm.
and body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and look how that's and on top of that, look how that's able to tell a story, or the stories that I have, my background allows me to show you that nuance.
Mm.
This is my driving force of why I'm able to go there so far. Like instead of being like, I don't know, floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
it's zone one. Zone one's pretty small. Zone
Mm.
two's like kind of expands, and it just expands from that point.
Mm.
Some people are in zone. Some people are able to go to zone 7 because that's pretty far out there, and then some people are only comfortable in zone 1. Maybe my comfort zone might be in zone 7. Maybe your comfort zone might be in zone 2. But we're not wrong. Neither of us are wrong. It's just that some people just prefer to go out, but there. But the depth of that is kind of what matters, and the story that you're able to tell in that comfort zone. I just think that whatever that sounds, if this sounds complex of me just saying that, I just hope that that kind of like piques your interest more than just being like, look how I could do a backflip and you
Yeah.
can't. Like I just still feel like are, I still feel like a lot of dancers right now are still in this place where um, they're saying the art, they're saying like the dance,
Yeah.
and I'm a movement artist and all that type of stuff. But it still really just comes down to like kindergarten. I can do a backflip. Haha, you can't.
Yeah.
Like it really just comes down to those conversations, and it's like you just can't fool me with that. Like, wow, I can't do that, but that doesn't mean that my dance is as bad. Um, and how do we know this? We see this by people who are afraid to come into the dance because they're just like, wow, I can't do a backflip. You know, people have said it to me, Skills, I haven't been able to dance like how you do. I'm like, of course you can't. We're two different people. Not because I train longer than you, not because of it's just we're two different people. Of course you'll never be able to dance like me. That doesn't have to be looked at egotistical wise. That's just logistically like
Yeah,
we're
like
just two different
body
people.
is built different, experience is different, mind works different.
My ankle twisted,
Yeah.
healed up. I can't even dance the same Eskillz
Yeah.
2 years ago. Like, you know, I hurt my back a couple years ago. I can't even be the same Eskillz. I would love to be able to like with better nuance and like technique now, but what's your story though?
Yeah.
That's what matters to me. Like, what's your story though? Why do you feel like you're not capable to be here with me just because I know how to do a backflip and you don't? You know, that's why the conversation of depth kind of negates ego,
Mm-hmm.
because Ego doesn't want depth. Ego wants surface level. You just see what you see. You're supposed to be impressed. You're supposed to dig deep.
Yeah.
All our bags. My favorite saying nowadays is all of our bags could be deeper. All of our bags could be deeper. My bag deep, but my bag could be deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like my depth of how much I understand myself could be deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I can't do it by myself. So with all that being said, I would like spaces to let that be the driving force of that. That all of our bags could be deeper. How can we make our bags deeper? Whether we're going to portray art, we all sit down and just watch each other dance, or we all dance together. And I would just like more spaces to be that. I guess that's my ideal dance world.
Yeah, because I feel like if we're talking about that, right? Like spaces do like we have sessions nowadays, but more often than not, I at least do feel intimidated when I first started freestyling, and seeing like you and all these great dancers in the circle, I do feel intimidated. Like, yes, you guys are, and how, like, in the spaces that we already have, how can we curate that type of kind of supportive environment, and how, like, it's probably not you guys that make me feel like they don't welcome me, but it's more so like me. At least when I first started, I was like, it would be a waste of their time if they watch me dance. Like, they can't learn anything from what I do. You know, like, how do you...
Well, there's a session, when the session's happening, there's a session after the session. I think that people just need to talk.
Yes, exactly. We need to have conversations, you know?
Yeah, everybody listening on the podcast, talking is a dance within itself.
Guys.
Conversation is a dance within itself. Conversation, there's a nonverbal conversation, there's an actual verbal conversation.
Yeah.
If you're speaking Chinese and you don't know English, and I only know English and I don't speak Chinese, then dance is probably going to be very important for us to both kind of like connect. I'm like, who is Jingshu? But then Jingshu is like, I don't know English. But I'm be like, okay, that's why dance is dope, because it's like, okay, we can still connect though.
Yeah.
Because we can still dance with each other. Can I tell that you're probably like less seasoned in like, or like you're in a specific zone to be able to like explore this music? Cool, but we can still like kind of like dance that out. But if we both are like able to communicate verbally, it's like you can still talk to the person after that. Again, like, what's your story? Where are you here? Where are you from? Getting to know each other's know people. And I also think like when you was like, how do we like facilitate those spaces? I was about to immediately in my mind, I'm like, well, that's our job, not yours. The people listening on this podcast, if you're good at dance and you're good at what you do, if somebody's new, you have a responsibility to facilitate a space for them to explore.
Wow.
That is your responsibility. That is your sole responsibility. You're not good at dance for yourself. You're good at dance because like I said earlier, you love to dance and you love the art. And like I also just said, because you love it so much, it's not about you.
Yes.
You would love to see it on other people. If anything, I love dance so much, I love to see people grow in dance. That's why I teach. Teaching has made me appreciate dance even more, because I'm like, wow, I get to see dance on other people, let alone my own cultural style, Jersey Club and stuff like that. But that's our responsibility. You have to facilitate those spaces. I'm the good dancer, so of course people are going to be intimidated by me being able to explore more than them.
Yeah.
But if I'm also good at the dance, that also means that I have enough understanding that it's not just about me.
Yeah.
It's not just about moves. I should have my dance and my wisdom should be the same level.
Well said. Oh my god. Because I think, you know, it's like, you know, if by chance you come into a space where a good dancer is also a good facilitator, and you do feel safe, and then you realize that, okay, I can feel safe around people that are more seasoned than me, versus like, at least this time, me going back to China, I feel like dance there feels like a school system where, everyone's trying to be teacher's favorite student, and
Mm.
and it's too much of a competition that it doesn't feel genuine. And in a
Mm.
lot of the classes, I feel like they don't like to dance, like it's
Mm.
3 minutes before class, nobody's moving, nobody's talking to each other,
Yeah.
everybody's on their phone, sitting like a couch potato. And I'm like, movement and communication, like these are the two things, if anything, about dance, right? And
Yeah.
it's a space for dance, but nobody's doing either of the two.
Right.
And I just feel like for people who are listening on this podcast, like if you feel like that's weird, if you feel like this space is not for you, just be confident and try to explore. And there are people out there and there are spaces out there that are for you. Don't give up on it just purely because your current surrounding doesn't feel like a right fit.
Yeah.
And also have that confidence that you will find something. If not, you will curate something that feels right. I feel like
Yeah.
people should approach art, um, you know, like truly genuine based on their intuition and what they feel is right. If this feels wrong for you, like don't doubt yourself. It might be the environment that's not
Yeah.
right.
It might be an environment. You might have had a bad day.
Yeah.
I remember really beating up myself. I remember beating up myself a lot in times where like I didn't do good and that wave didn't make sense. And then sometimes I have to stop and be like, Elijah, maybe you just didn't have a good day. I remember my best friend, he used to say that to me. He'd be like, bro, sometimes we just have bad days. He said, and that's not, he said, not in a, like everybody says that some people have good days, some people have bad days. So sometimes you genuinely have to look at yourself and say like, I just had a bad day. I woke up, you know, there's nothing wrong with just being like, there's certain stipulations that just didn't allow me to really like express myself. And there's going to be some days where you're going to be like, wow, because we all want to be perfect.
Yeah.
But that's what we want. But that's not what we need. We
Yeah.
don't need to be looking at it like that. Like, and that's also part of the story too. I think it's dope to. I think it's dope for more dancers to be dancing. They just stop and just be like, you know what? I'm actually not really feeling it right now.
Mm.
To be the to be the best dancer is to be the most human.
Wow.
Let's make that the criteria. I think if we just be like, to be the best artist, to be the most human.
Yes.
And that's why AI will never get my respect. Because it's not human. It's just not human. Why would you? It's not the fact that AI is able to make, and I know I just segue into AI, but like,
it's because I think yesterday, it went viral on Instagram.
With the freaking robots,
yeah, the robots
flip, but it's not even just that. That's crazy. Like, AI would never tell me I'm depressed. I don't know if I can make art anymore. That's the artist.
Mm.
That's the artist right there. The AI would be like, boo, 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 and bring it up to you, and it's like, you're not an artist.
Mm.
You're not those artists where it's like, you'll go to a gallery. I remember explaining this to one of my friends when I was in Austria. I was like, I went to the art museum, and some of my favorite things to do is look at the dates chronologically, because that's the process.
Mm.
There's some artists that would be like 1989, 1990, gap, years, 30 years, and it'll be like 2012.
Mm.
And then like, you can see like all their stuff.
Yeah,
it's kind of like really nice. And then like 2012, they just be like, whatever happened to them, they just said F it and just decided to pick it up again, pick up the painting brush, whatever. And it'll just be something, it's still them, but it's something more different or daring or like just different.
You can tell that they kind of go to another zone
they have to go through this journey of like not being perfect, probably having kids, wife died, husband died, family member, like whole drugs, recovered, human stuff, real life stuff. And they just are creating what their life experience is like. AI don't know that. You're not human. You're not of error. AI is always going to give you the perfect image, the perfect whatever, and produce something for you right when you ask for it. It's like, nah, it's like, you're not going to throw stuff at me and shoo me away when you make stuff. You're not that artist that would be like, when the next art coming out and you're low-key schizophrenic and you don't know how to like navigate stuff as you're losing your mind and you're worried about your career and then your art's not coming out the way that it is, or you've been homeless for most of your life and now you're struggling, the fact that you're famous now and now everybody's in your face, or you're the only black artist in a white space and you struggle with your identity as a black artist, or you're the only Asian artist in a predominantly white space, or you know you're the only artist of like a family, or you're like a recovering drug addict who decided to paint but you don't know if you're able to, like, real stories, like real human stories that you're just like, yo, or one day you just lost the passion to paint, and then everybody's at the museum. It's like, when they gonna paint again? And it just be like, yo, he or she just disappeared off the face of the earth too. Like, you never hear them again. Musicians do that all the time.
Yeah.
If you musicians, some Asian artists who like made music like back in the 80s, where they would be like, and you would never, and they just left the industry. They just never. They made one album, blew up, and they just disappear. That's a real art. That's a real, like, the story and the era, the human trial and error behind it is what makes it an art. The best artists are the most human, and it's like, it's just like, there's no difference to like the dancers.
Mm.
Like, if you're a good dancer, you should understand where Jingshu's coming from when she's like, I don't know if I'm good enough to dance here. Like, nah, facts. I had to go through 400 of those experiences just for one day for me to just be like, huh, I actually just danced just now. But until then, we're right here. Until you do.
Yeah.
And I think that some people are just, she ain't do a backflip yet. Bro, like, that's not the point, bro. Of course it's not going to look good. If I just handed you a marble ball in front of you and just be like, now make me a freaking Greek god sculpture, you're going to be like, bro. You're going to be like, ding, and the freaking nail drops on the floor. And you're going to be like, hurry up. Why are you not making the sculpture yet? Bro, like.
Yeah. It's a process. It's a journey.
It's a process. That's my long rant about the best dancers, the best artists are the most human. Like, you just can't beat that. Like,
I feel like that's why I made this podcast even like, I remembered when I first started to dance or like take a class. I feel like, the people that are good at dance are some other species. Like you said, it's like, I feel like probably we live in a different world. Like, probably they don't pay taxes. Like, I don't know, even know, like, I feel like, do they? I feel like I was just like exploring a part of me that I even like. When I first started dancing, people like don't even know that I'm dancing, right? Like, it's the same as you. Like, I was like, I'm just going in there, and for those 2 hours, like, I'm kind of in a different shell with whomever's in that room. And when I'm out, like, that's like closed memory. That's just left in the space. And like, also, that's the reason why for the longest time I didn't talk to people who dance. Like, I feel like I said, I don't even know if they talk. Like, in class, they're just moving. Like, right. I don't even know if they speak.
I'm a good dancer, but it took me a very long time to say that about myself. Mm-hmm. I'm a good dancer, but I let a lot of people down in my life. I let a lot of people down who are close to me because it wasn't about dance. I made a lot of, and there's a lot of mistakes I have made. It has also fueled my dance to just not chase perfection per se, but just have me realize what I realize now, that I'm human and people are of air. Maybe some of those people, there's some people who have bomb classes, but they literally cannot pay their rent next month. Or there's some dancers who look and have the feel and everything, and they're homeless. You don't know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And it's like some people, and it's like, it's sad because some people really feel inclined to just be like, I'm so willing to show off the fact that I'm a good dancer that none of that matters. And it's like, dang, bro, like, like, relax. Like, you're not really all that. Like, everybody got something going on. Like
Mm.
if I ask around and ask anybody that's close to you or people that you let down before, they'd be like, "Yo, did you know that he or she actually really did this before?" And you'd be like, and people would be so shocked, but it'd be like you're only shocked. And sometimes I had to think about it like I'm only shocked because one, I love the art form so much that I allowed it to build this perception of that person because they're just good at that art form.
Mm.
But they're still human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, that like when it comes to my attention, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that they did that. You
Mm.
know, or they
Mm.
was capable of doing that because their dancing was so good. But it's like, there's dancers that I've met that they're not good people.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
They're just not good people, and I love that. I actually welcome that. That's actually a humbling experience. You're such a dope dancer, and they just gave me the cold shoulder. They just like a complete a-hole, and I'm just like, that person's trouble. And of course, the dance shouldn't match the character. They're human too. Like maybe I was living in La La Land. Maybe I need to take some responsibility and not idolize people
Yes,
just because
exactly
they're good
that.
at
Yeah.
their art form. Like people really have struggles and things, and some people are in this. Unfortunately, some people are in this for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Some people really lead with dance and just be like, only the dance do I care about and you should care about. But it's like, to the other people that's coming into this, it's like, you should care more about the humanity of art than it is like dance. It's just like when you add the criteria of humanity
Mm-hmm.
into things, it just changes the way it changes the way that you go about it. It changes the way that you give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
It just changes the way that you treat other people
Yeah.
in artistic spaces, whether those people understand it or not. It's like I'd rather start it. If nobody else is doing it, I'd rather start it. I know that's hard to do if you're the only one, but but then you got like Jing Shu who come into the space, and it's like, well, if nobody else was going to do it, that'd be hell for her. If nobody was going to give her that love, you know, and then if nobody else did it and you dancing and everybody's giving you that, there's something special about that one person being like, "Nah, that's fire," because I've had that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shouts out to those people. Dang, it's my heart a little emotional about that. But when you really think about it, it's like it's those people that got me here.
Yeah.
Because there's been plenty of dance spaces that I've walked in, just like anybody else, where I'll be like, "Dang, I suck," because I just started,
Yeah.
and there's that one person right beside me, whether it's my homie or some random stranger who just really loves dance, didn't care if their zone of my zone. They really was like, "Woo, that was fire." And even if I'm really like, that sucked completely, there's still a part of me that's like
somebody see it.
Somebody
see the value.
sees me,
Yeah.
somebody recognizes me as a human being. And it's like, that's a part of my process. That's all a part of our processes. So that gets me to a place where I'm like, I'm able to like produce. And then if that made a difference, who knows what would happen if I stopped? I wouldn't be here to speak this, you know? And I know, so I remember I went on my rant and people was like, yo, bro, you speaking facts. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's facts, but don't make me out to be like this wise guru who sits at the top of the mountain seeing all this deep stuff. It's not even that. It's like, this should be just regular conversation. Actually, this isn't some like wondrous things, and maybe I might be underselling myself, being humble, whatever the case may be, but it's like, it should be that. It should be, these conversations should be regular, because we would see a big change in dance if we just start having more conversations about it. And that's why I appreciate this podcast. So I appreciate you like having me here, create this space for it, because this is just one of those ways to be like, wow, I never knew this dancer felt this way. Outlets and whatnot. So
yeah, and I think like the reason why I started the podcast is because when I first started, I see these people and I feel like they're not human. Yeah. And then I realized that everybody was once a beginner, or and the right mindset is that you're always a beginner, you're always learning and growing. But I think like people see them being so good, so skilled, now,
Yeah,
but they don't know what's the journey behind it or what they've been through or how they got there. And it's the how and it's a process, I think, that matters, that has more value to people, and we need to share it because
100%.
otherwise everyone just thinks like, I think a lot of beginners see that and like, oh, I'll never do that in my lifetime. But you don't know if you'll do
Do
that in
that in
your
your
life. A
lifetime? Yeah.
lifetime is a long time. Like,
Yeah.
you've been dancing for 16 years, and whomever that's listening, if you're 40 now, in and you will be 60 in 20 years, and that will
Yeah.
be long enough for you to be skilled in something, whether it's dance or other, whatever that is your
Keep it
passion. Just,
simple. Do
yeah.
you like that song? Yes. Did you like tap your foot and like smile a little bit? Yes. Congratulations, you moved today. You know? It's like one thing, there's one exchange that I had that just completely, it happened this year, that completely like changed me. There was this guy in the subway, he had no arms.
Mm.
Like he had like literal
Mm.
nubs and
Mm.
he had no arms. And he was asking for change. And he obviously spoke Spanish and he didn't know like how to speak English. And everybody just looked so down on him because he had no arms. I'm rushing and I rush in my bag. Like I was like, whatever change I got, you know? And he takes his little nubs and has the cup between his nubs and he's like, and I have to pour the freaking cash. And I'm sitting here just like, yo, like, it's things like that where it's like, yo, like, that could be any one of us.
Yeah.
You know, like, can we all just relax real quick? Like, we're all on these, like, Snipes and Red Bull and what all these crazy
Yeah.
stages. And it's like, bro, you could wake up and your just legs just don't work. Now what? Now what matters? You know? Now be all like tough and look down on like
Yeah.
people when they're not good enough in circles. Like relax, bro. Like
I think if that type of competition or hierarchical mindset exists, then you will also never be satisfied with yourself
right.
either, right? Like, it's like, if you look up or fetish about people being at the top of the tier, or like, being great,
Yeah.
then you have the fear that you one day you will be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, and that will be a forever. It's like greed, or
Yeah.
it's like a bliss that you're looking, like there's just no ending to
Yeah.
it. And I
Well,
think, like, it's that type of vibe. I think not just in the dance world, but in
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 general.
life in general. Like, people are snobbish, right? A little bit
Yeah.
when you're a good dancer and you go in a circle and you're the popular one where everyone wants to talk to you, everyone wants to like learn something from you. And if you're a beginner, you go there and you just feel like you're invisible and nobody's noticing that. Like, and it's kind of a little bit like that, if you go to LA, and especially if things are more commercialized and people make friends with you because you know certain people, you got certain connections, you
Mm.
are at a level where you can introduce opportunities to others. Like, but if you look at the system that way, then you will forever
Yeah.
be miserable, I
Yeah.
guess.
And it's like, to be honest, I'm gonna pray for those people, and I feel bad for them. And it's like there's some people I genuinely like, and I know I'm going on record by saying this. Like there's some people who are at the top, and I could look at them and I'd be like, I feel bad for you because I know you're miserable. I know you're the best, and you're miserable. What's the point?
Yeah.
Then what's the point? You now you've lost your passion, but you have to keep doing it to get paid, and now everybody knows you for that.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds miserable.
hell.
That sounds miserable.
That's hell. I don't want that. Meanwhile, there was this one time, and this is why like my art reflects that, because situations where it's like stories where I'd be like, I've only experienced that, and it was just a moment like I've had that I'm just like, I don't even think anybody could ever understand the depth of just that
Mm.
moment but me. It was so specific to me, but I remember seeing like there was this like homeless guy, his brother, who's like homeless, obviously like a drug addict, and one shoe, one sneaker, and like it was a house festival, and he was just feeling it.
Mm.
He was free. He had the best groove I've ever seen. He just in it, grooving. And for the first time, I was jealous. I'm jealous of him. I'm like, I got all these bills, all these things. He has nothing. Just him and his broken mind and just that beat. Now, that's extremes to be like, I gotta chase that.
Yeah.
But like, it's a weird feeling to just see freedom
Yes.
on somebody who lost. I don't even know what his story is, and I'm praying for him too. But like, it's just such a complex emotion that I felt. I still think about. Like, it's just that's just that was such a chord shift in me that and at that time I was really trying to feel house, and I learned something from him.
Yeah.
I'm like, in that moment, I was like, I've been looking at dance wrong.
Yeah.
I remember after that, my dancing completely changed. My dancing got better, quote unquote. After watching a homeless man give a good jack, that groove, some of the best house dancers right now, I compare that to that, and I'm like, still don't give me the same. And maybe there's the nuance, the fact that he was like homeless and like he didn't have any, but it's just like the human thing of just seeing his eyes closed. That was just, it was free. Everything was completely free. When I see dancers, I see a cost that they're just willing to pay for what? It's like, bro, like, just dance, and it's just like, it's just things like that kind of shape my opinion on things, and why, like, a lot of times when I'm in certain spaces, I don't say a lot, because like, I just know that everybody's kind of just in this like competition stage.
Yeah.
Like, people see things like stacked instead of like out. Like, we can all like hug, y'all. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
I love dance, and it's like, I love dance, and then the person's like, yeah, but I traveled here. And I never left the country until 28. I just got my passport at 28 years old. I just went to Austria. It was one of the best experiences I'll ever have. And I'm going to be going to Spain next month.
Wow.
So I'm going to be traveling. Meanwhile, there's other people who probably traveled the world billions of times. Miserable, though. Like, it's just, there's so much more. This is, again, depth. There's so much more nuance to art and dance and movement and humanity than just these things. It's these things, they'll come and pass. Like, if all of this stuff was going tomorrow, if we was to wake up and Instagram's like, well, all that work you did on Instagram,
disappear.
Bye-bye. Just gone. Like, everybody's probably on other social media. It's like, Instagram's gone. Like, what's going on?
That's Red Nose at one point when TikTok was.
Yeah, like, my life is going in, all my savings, all my hard work, all these things, all these people, all these followers, gone. Now what? Are you going to keep dancing? And I really believe that a lot of people will just stop dancing. I think a lot of them just be like, they're so tied to their resume and like how people perceive them. With dance, they've been using it wrong, and like how that's going to come and go, that their passion, what they say they dance for is just going to go too. And to be honest, I look forward to that, bro. I look forward to that. Instagram, just shut everything down, bro.
I think people are like, artists especially have a weird relationship with social media. It's like they rely on it to some extent, but they also hate it to some extent. They like, it's a love-hate relationship.
If you have a symbiotic relationship with social media and you don't see no wrong in it, I'm just going to go on the record and say you're not an artist, bro. Because every artist I know, like you said, we just have such a like weird relationship with art. Like, sometimes I go on my story and I share, and I'm like, I share too much. Like, sometimes I just be like, why did I say so much, bro? I don't even want to be seen. Because I was that kid. Many of us was that kid that was just like on the side, off to the side.
Yeah,
just
like awkward, doesn't fit in.
Like,
I feel like we're that's
just kind of just like, bro, what do you want to, like, what? Why am I doing any of this thing? And it's kind of like, I think dance also helped me be like social. Because I was like, instead of like being the first one to talk, I guess being the first one to dance kind of forces you to like be like, everybody's like, yo. So it's just, so that also helped like my social anxiety, like help like my anxiety and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, we all just struggle with just being like, dang, why am I on this picking app? Sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, why does this exist? Like, like, what is this?
because back in the days it didn't exist, and I feel like dancers back then are more creative, if
They were
anything.
having a ball because their life. I also noticed this too, like their eyes wasn't like this. Like their like peripheral like vision and
Mm-hmm.
everything was like this. Like
Mm.
everything was like around.
Mm.
Like I think we've been trained to look at things like this
Yeah.
too, which is crazy. So we're all like horses that are like this. And it's like our we're not supposed to be like built for that. Like we're literally touching metal. We have pieces of metal in our pockets that we pull out and we tap all day.
That's
That's a
why,
good.
like, a lot of people say, like, from a cat, if you have a pet, from a cat's view or a dog's view, it's
Mhm.
just a piece of metal that
Yeah,
kind of have lights,
yeah,
and that you are just constantly addicted to, and they try to pull attention away.
yeah. It's like, bro, like we're like the little laser cats. We're like, oh, look at the cat.
It's like
Not
the brick that shines.
a piece of freaking block of metal that just tapping away all day at. I'm just like, bro, like how can I take my power back, bro?
Yeah, like,
you know, um, friend is just turning off the phone, but it's just like, yeah, like I just
I
want to
have
live a life.
my do not disturb mode on all day long. That's why I don't get your calls.
Yeah, no, 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 it's okay. Um, keep doing that, please. Just check it every once in a while. But yeah,
Yeah,
humanity is humanity. You can't have art without humanity because it's the humans that make the art.
yeah.
You know, that's literally how I'm gonna sum it up, guys. That's literally how I'm gonna sum up everything. Just but dance, I love dance. I love dance and I love dance flaws. Just like I love art's flaws.
Mm,
I love the flaws of dance. I actually strive to be more comfortable with dance flaws
mm,
and cringe.
yeah.
When things are cringy and they don't make sense and somebody's new, it's like we should all work to welcome that. I think that's the first step. We should all work to understand that because it's not the dancer, it's not Jingshu coming in. Obviously, she's not used to doing that wave correctly, and I cringe and I want to make her feel bad or like not support her, but it's like there's something in me that's like not okay, that's maybe not healed, that I'm seeing like not good things being done that makes me feel a certain type of way, and instead of like making that person feel bad, I should welcome that, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah, I think also that's why art like connects people together and people resonate with
Yeah,
it. That's the humanity part of it. Like we should all see a part of ourselves in artwork, which means like, a part of ourselves that's flawed, that's imperfect,
yeah,
and you see how people can be so honest and so brave to put that vulnerability out there. And I
yeah,
feel like that's what connects people and that's what speaks to people's heart. That's why people fell in love with art.
yeah,
It always starts with the imperfect part. It's the not so great part, but it's the not so great, but they embrace it part.
yeah,
That is healing for others.
yeah.
Well, I don't
Good
know. It's
talk.
a dance podcast, but we're talking about philosophy.
Talking about some good stuff right now. But I mean, like that's all I can ever break down. I hope I answered your questions as best as possible.
I don't know why we got here, but I guess one of the last questions that I always ask everyone on the podcast is that if you could speak to your younger self who just started to dance, like what would be some advice that you would give?
It's okay to make mistakes. Um, your mistakes is what defines you. It's okay to have bad days. Um, you just work to be kind to yourself.
Mm.
That's an art form. That's an art form. That's not some advice. That's literally an art form
Mm.
within itself. Learning the art of being kind is the most important art form.
Wow.
I wish sometimes like I really when I had those epiphanies it changed me.
Mm.
But that is something that if there's anything that I wish, I know the Most High got me, but I just I do wish, if there's anything that I do wish that that was something I knew earlier.
Mm.
Um, and never feel bad that you're having fun.
Mm.
It's a weird thing. I know
Yeah, exactly.
everybody
For
has that.
Asians specifically, like we just, I feel like people feel guilty when they're having fun. It's
Yeah,
almost like you hate you can't be fully happy because when you're happy, you're sad or you're like kind of
mm,
guilty. And when you're not feeling great, then you want to feel great.
yeah.
But when you do feel great, you don't feel great. Like so, you never get to that.
Dang, I've actually, it's interesting because it's like I've heard that before, and I mean, I will never really understand the nuance of that. That's why, like, I love having these conversations. So I know culturally, like, it's different. Um, but that's really sad
Yeah,
to
because
kind of
like
just
it's
like,
almost like in our upbringing, we're taught that you need to work hard and like if something feels like you're pushing through, like you're having a hard time, it means you're growing. So there's
yeah,
something positive associated to bad experience, and there's something negative associated to positive experience because then you're being lazy, you're just not doing anything, or like you're not progressing. And I feel like we think of progress as a given. Like we think we don't ask questions on why we need to
yeah,
make progress, why we need to be better, or why like I think there's something cultural and like given the historical time that China was in,
yeah,
in the past 20 years, we're just economic is fast growing, everything's like just going upward, upward, and people don't question that.
yeah,
And nowadays, people start to shift their minds on that and be like, you know, we start to appreciate, maybe just having a small family business that keeps just being small and you pass
yeah,
it on, within generations. And that's kind of how a lot of people in Japan, a lot
yeah,
of business in Japan functions that way. But at least back in the days, if you make a business, then the next step is how to make it bigger. How do you like
yeah.
go global
Enterprise,
and like
yeah,
how do you sell it to like more people? But I think, like yeah, I think it's
yeah,
it's it's a spectrum. Like some companies are meant to be big and like serve a lot of people, and some things are meant to be small and delicate and just
hmm Same
you
thing
find
with
your small audience.
Same thing with dance.
Yes,
If you're
yes,
a dancer,
exactly.
you got to be the best. It's time to be the best dancer I have ever seen ever. Meanwhile, it's like sometimes I just want to just dance to just have fun. Like
Yeah,
maybe I just want to dance for myself and like catch me at some ciphers.
yeah.
Sometimes some people, some also y'all can you guys can just dance to be healthy, right? Like you don't have to like dance to have a resume. Like there's some, it's like yeah, people can have great dance, and if you just so happen to like makes money and stuff like that, yeah, that's cool. Like, but like, don't let that be the end all be all. Like, don't try to chase that.
Yeah,
Don't try to let that become something because then you start losing the reason why you did stuff, and
yeah,
then that's just a slippery slope, because you just keep being rewarded and you're just like, why not? Like, um, but yeah, sustainability is just, but sustainability is the thing for in every aspect of life
yeah,
right now. Like,
yeah.
sustainability is at because American culture is no different right now. Like, you know,
Like go go
um,
go. Yeah,
it's like, can we just live, please? Like,
yeah,
can we
yeah.
just live? Like, and yeah, that's that. Either that or you get that. Now we getting front flipping robots.
Yeah, robots can do that. So like, are they best dancers in your definition? Like,
You
right?
see what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like, yo, I can't do a front flip.
yeah.
So does that mean? And there's into some people's crazy logic, eventually when robots do it less janky, people are gonna be like, watch. I'm telling you, people are gonna be like,
Because
robots
I
are better
feel like all the
dancers.
technical stuff, robots can do it better. They have better flexibility. They can turn their head like
But
they
yeah,
can. Their joints don't even have restrictions
that's
the way that
why I
we
tell
do.
people stop looking at technique so much because that's a slippery slope. When robots start getting involved and they start doing the robot
Yeah,
better
they
than
can do
you,
animation way better than we do. Because what?
like it's like then logistically it's gonna be like, all right, that's the better dancer. But it's like it's not the fact that a human's doing the robot. It's the fact that there's a nuance to you attempting to remove
Yeah.
you imagining removing your humanity to actually like do a robot, and that's like it's the flawed thinking
Yeah.
of knowing that you're imagining yourself being something else that makes it cool.
Yeah.
But again, advice I got for myself. Real talk robots. If you want to invite me back to talk about robots, yeah.
Okay, that's for the future. Let's see where robots will be. Like, I mean,
5 years.
Yeah.
Want to bet on it? $20.
Well, that's gonna be interesting. We live in an interesting time.
Yes, we do.
Well,
Yeah.
good talk. We really talked on different topics, not just about dance, but I enjoyed
this too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, for people who are listening, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.